What's up, guys and girls? Welcome back to another video. Have you ever noticed that PSA charges more money when your card grades really well? Have you ever wondered why that is, or like the reasons behind that? Well, today I'm going to talk about that and just kind of deep dive into my thoughts and opinions on PSA upcharging more for 9s, 10s, and things like that, and just kind of delve into why I think it might not be the best idea, or why PSA is kind of monopolistic in these upcharge charges. So if you're ready for that, sit back, relax, let's hop right in. And real quick, before we hop into the video, if you could like and subscribe, it'd help me out a ton. I think like 90% of people are not subscribed, so if you could hit that subscribe button down below, help me out a ton. Let's hop right into it. First thing I want to talk about is just kind of PSA in general and what their current like role in the current Pokemon market is. And that obviously is being the premier service that everyone seems to go to get their cards graded. Now, I'm going to say this is kind of a cycle for PSA. PSA is a snowball that is currently rolling down the slope and is gathering so much speed that it's going to be so hard to dethrone them in the future and be a competitor to them. Mainly because everyone goes with PSA because they have the most value. Because they have the most value, people go with PSA. It's like a cycle where people are going to stick with it because they want the most value in their cards. They want the most money. Money is everything that talks. As much as people want to say they don't care about things being worth money or anything like that, they do. They ultimately want things to be worth more money than what they paid for. So if in the off chance they need more money for whatever reason, for a life event, they can sell said object, card, or whatever for more money than what they paid for it, use that extra money, maybe go buy a new one, things of that nature. So that's why PSA is currently very monopolistic in its current tendencies of how it, I don't want to say strangles the market, because everyone goes with PSA, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy that PSA gets more business, it can get more ahead, and because more people go with it, it holds the most value because most people want it. You see what I mean in this. And now I'm going to be honest, I don't think PSA is honestly all that terrible with like how they grade cards. They're inconsistent, but like overall, they're pretty reliable in that if a 10, I've made jokes and videos about that because they do miss, but every company misses. In fact, PSA has been one of the better ones, like CGC, where they were grading stuff that wasn't even real and authenticating it. PSA, for the most part, has been pretty reliable in that if a card's in our PSA slab, it's authentic, it's real, the grade is pretty reasonable. Now, some people argue 9s, 10s, but like, I feel if you're within a grade, like an 8, like an 8 could go to a 10, like they're all near mint. It's hit or miss. Obviously, it's subjective. Grading is ultimately subjective. You can be going through your steps and being like going through a process and like, this is gonna 10, and then ultimately it'll get a 9 or something like that. Ultimately, grading's subjective. I'm not going to fault PSA on that. I think grading overall is not a terrible thing for the hobby. I think it's pretty cool. I think slabs can look pretty neat, but overall, you can't argue that PSA is very monopolistic and that it is definitely the top one. You can't argue that. That's not even an argumentative thing because PSA holds the most value. Now, the problem with PSA currently that has been floating all over Twitter and all over the internet has been upcharges. And I just want to say, I think upcharges are so egregious. I was seeing on the Twitter scene right now, there's currently a profile saying, I paid $100,000 for this car, I got it graded, it's now worth $500,000 or whatever, and they made me pay $4,000. And they equated that to like tipping a dealer at a blackjack table or whatever. I think this is absolutely insane because PSA has the ability to just provide insurance. That's what this upcharge is. I know people are going to come to the comments here, and I do want to just say, I know it's for insurance purposes, right, to insure the card. But you have to ask yourself, why don't other companies charge this upcharge? And that's because they're behind. They don't have the market share. PSA is using its market share to be able to charge these upcharges. A lot of times, this is just free profit. Like, unless the card is literally missing or gets lost or whatever, like, and it's not insured, like, that's how insurance works. Insurance, most of the time, is just profit. You're paying to use it, and only in the off chance you need it. So, PSA could, theoretically, just insure these without needing the upcharge. You've already paid the flat fee. Even if you paid $500 or whatever it is, you shouldn't have to pay an upcharge, right? I don't even think there's a $5,000 fee to send cards in for grading, so that's just insane. But other companies, CGC, BGS, all these other companies don't even charge for an upcharge. Like, once you pay their flat grading fee, that's what you pay. Like, they'll take care of it. They will insure it from here on out. It's your card. Like, they're gonna take care of it and take care of you. And the reason they do that is because they're behind in market share. They are trying to compete with PSA, so they're going to compete in one of the ways they can, and that's going to be insuring your cards so you don't have to pay an upcharge. PSA, recognizing that they're at the top, means that they can just employ this monopolistic tendency and just charge more. That's straight up all it is. Like, it is straight up just to charge to make more money. Now, they're a company, they have profits they got to make and stuff like that, so I'm not going to fault PSA for doing this. But the people who stand by and like argue that it's a good thing is absolutely insane to me. It is literally just taking money from your pocket, straight up. If you pay like $20 or whatever, you get your card graded, comes back $1,000, you need to upcharge 10, 6, 10, whatever the amount is. It's normally like $10 or something like that if it's to 1,000 to insure it. That's just 10 extra dollars that you have to now pay. If somebody has a really old card, say a Gold Star, and it grades really well, and it's now a $60,000 card, and PSA goes, hey, I need $2,000. You might look around and be like, most of us are working paycheck to pay. I can't pay $2,000 to get my card back. That's insane. I have to go get a loan, get this card back, and then you basically ensure that it needs to be sold now because somebody just took a $2,000 loan or borrowed $2,000 to get this card back so that they can sell it, and they can't basically keep it. So that's kind of where these upcharges are just really egregious. Anyone that like defends them ultimately is just obviously, blinded by PSA. They want to keep their value. So I'm not gonna, I've had some people in the comments get angry at me for yapping and stuff like that, but you can't argue that it is just because PSA has value and people don't want to lose that value. People, once you affect somebody's bottom line or pocket or value, they get upset and get frustrated. So if you point out something wrong with PSA, they get frustrated. If you say a competitor's better than PSA, they get mad and upset because they don't want to lose that money. I mean, I can't really blame them. Most people don't want to lose money. So ultimately, like, you have to take a step back and look at it objectively and be like, yeah, this is just them abusing their power in the market, their position in the market, and just being able to charge more because they can. Simply the only thing about it. Like, if other companies are able to charge, like, give you your card back without an upcharge, PSA is upcharging because they can. That's what it is. Now, what can you do to like avoid this? Now, obviously, the first thing is just kind of make sure you're knowing what you're sending in first and foremost. If you think it could grade higher, be prepared and be aware that if you send a PSA, you could pay more. Just simple about it. There's nothing we're gonna change about PSA. There's ultimately nobody's gonna like back off and like not send a PSA because PSA is getting more and more like cards every year. PSA also raising the prices is absolutely insane too because like ultimately they could just invest and make their speed faster and stuff like that instead of raising the prices, but because there's so much demand and because they know they're the top of their competitor, they're going to raise prices and nobody goes to competitors for them as much as them because the value is all with PSA. It's a whole horrible cycle right now, but yeah, that's just the current problems with PSA. Upcharges I think are just straight up stealing money from you. I'm going to be honest, I don't think you should pay for an well, I mean, you should pay for your upcharge, but like I think PSA should do better. I think they should actually try and compete. And I really, really, really want a company to come in and actually take down PSA. Make them compete again. Because I promise you, it's so much better for the consumer. It's better for every single person involved in the TCG. If PSA has a real competitor who is, like, let's say PSA has, I don't know, 30%. Another competitor comes in 30%. Another competitor 30%. Like, if everyone had the same market share and everyone valued everything the same, I promise you, it would be so much better for consumers. 100%. Not even, like, debatable. It would just be better for you, the end consumer in grading, if PSA had a competitor. Right now they don't. Like ultimately, like black labels are worth a little bit more, but unless you have a top of the line card, it's not getting a Beckett black label. CGC's Pristine, I think, is like the next one. CGC has its own problems and people don't really trust it. Tag's on the up and up, but ultimately it's still kind of new and fresh, so we'll see how Tag does. I think they're kind of cool, but ultimately I know Tag has had its own problems. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you could like and subscribe, help me out a ton, like I mentioned earlier. Join the Discord, links in the description. Click that if we're, I would love to get to meet y'all. That's gonna be it for me today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate responding to everyone, so yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Take care.